got a Kindle in my mattress. Oh, I got the bitty back bragging.
Please tell me why you always leave.
Why you waiting?
Please tell me why you always leave. Please tell me why you always leave.
Why you waiting?
Please tell me why you always leave. Please tell me why you always leave.
Why you waiting?
Please tell me why you always leave.
And a great spot to start this drive from here. This is Ingram on 1st and 10. Nothing doing. Barely able to muster a yard to hit the 35. Shaq Thompson on the tackle that time.
Well, that's the type of play that'll fire up a defense. Hold them to 1 yard on a first down run. It'll be interesting to see if the offense decides to press the run at all, or if they'll abandon it now after gaining only 1 on that play.
On 2nd down, here's Breeze. And Cooks has it over the middle. 4 yards on the completion, and it sets up a 3rd down.
Well, if you do read man coverage, Brandon, the drag route's a pretty good one to run against it because you're running away from people on it. 3rd and 5, so they bring in an extra defensive back.
Expecting pass. From the gun on 3rd down, Breeze. This is caught. It's Cooks. And the athleticism on the spin move allows him to pick up the first before he's brought down.
Would it be safe to say that as precise as routes are supposed to be run in the NFL, maybe they're not quite as precise in college ball?
That's accurate, yeah.
And I think we saw a college route in the NFL there. Just find the soft spot, find the dead zone, and find the first down. And that's what he just did. It's a tried and true formula, and I don't think it'll change for as long as we play football. If someone's trying to throw the ball and you can put pressure on them and make it tough, that's only going to help your defense.
Yeah, he's since being hurried. He got rid of it before taking the hit, but incomplete. On 2nd down, Ingram. And he's eaten up at the line of scrimmage. Might have gotten a yard down to the 16. In on the tackle there, Luke Kuechly.
When we talk about Luke Kuechly, you can't talk about his overall game without talking about his intelligence and how he controls the whole defense. He quarterbacks that defense, and at times will actually make checks, just like a quarterback would on offense to get him into the right defense. They definitely were on that play. How about that finish? Holding that to a minimal gain.
It's complete to Fleener. A nice pickup of 14, and it moves the stick, sets up a 1st and goal.
And there's a nice completion to Kobe Fleener, and no one can be happier than Drew Brees.
They had Jimmy Graham for all those years, Ben Watson last year, and now coming south from Indianapolis, Fleener. And the offense in a great spot. And he is in for the score. Touchdown, New Orleans. C.J. Spiller taking it in from 2 yards out. And the Saints are able to cash in for 6. And he's got it up and through.
Well, Brandon, he just followed his nose, and his nose took him to the end zone. But how about the big guys up front? Give him at least a stalemate in order to find that space.
Yeah, the O-line won the battle in the trenches there, didn't it? Fielded about a yard deep. And he'll get it up past the 20 to the 22-yard line. Cam Newton getting ready to go again on offense. You know, normally he's probably happy with how he's playing. He's playing pretty well, but in the second quarter, you look up your team's losing. I don't think any quarterback's satisfied.
Not at all, and what they're really seeking is how do I play even better and inspire my teammates to do exactly the same in order for us to get back on top on the scoreboard. That's when you find out you have a quarterback. If they're just satisfied with their stat line,
they're not really a leader.
Not at all. You just have a guy playing the position.
To throws, and he's taken down here by the Saints. Cameron Jordan in there to bring him down for a loss of 7. Well, it was 2nd and long. Now it's 3rd and even longer. They're going in the wrong direction here.
Because they're moving exactly the way they want to, but you're exactly right. Definitely going in the wrong direction for the offensive guys.
And incomplete. The contact made the ball roam free and brings up fourth down. Well, they've had a pretty frustrating first half here offensively, and then just continued there with that incompletion.
Yeah, definitely frustrating for them, but heartening for the other guys. Those stop troops, they're enjoying things right now because they've made it very difficult for them throughout the half.
They will go for it. Now Newton. And he gets it to Funchess complete. And he's brought down after a good game. We often, with Cam Newton, talk a lot about his legs. Don't forget about that arm.
He can throw it on a rope. He can loft it. He's got the touch that's been developed throughout his career. But the big part about just watching him throw it, it seems almost effortless.
And he'll get it out a couple yards shy of midfield at the 48. 2 minutes to go here in the first half. Back with more from Charlotte after this. We remind you that coming up at halftime, we'll pay a visit to Larry Ridley in Orlando with our EA Sports Halftime Report. And the tight end Olsen, right side. The gain of 4 that time as the drive continues.
And there's a completion to the tight end. And look at the size of these players nowadays. At that spot, 6'4", 6'5", and up. A lot of guys used to be basketball players. Somehow keep...
That's caught inside the 20. And he gets this one all the way down inside the 20-yard line.
Now, that play will end up on the highlights, and you'll see it all over the place. But what you won't see, the offensive line that bought the extra time, that allowed for the big completion downfield, those guys made that play possible.
He's going to leave this for his running back. It's complete. Nothing on that one. It'll be second down. So 2nd and 10 here. They couldn't get anything going there out on the right side in the flat of the swing pass.
And didn't we have a discussion with their staff about wanting to get the backs more involved in the passing game? Huge emphasis for this game, but obviously the defense had other plans and really made a nice play.
And at his size, he's a smaller back. You can get him to football. He can kind of get lost, make someone miss. It's good for him.
Yeah, it's great for him. I like what you said there. Sometimes he gets lost in the traffic a little bit, but get him out in the open field into some space. That plays to his strengths the best and keeps him out of it where all the big boys are, you know, make him make someone miss in the open field.
And no signs of the field goal unit. They're going for it on 4th down. They snap it to Newton. Out to the flat. That's complete to his running back. And the Panthers turned away on 4th down. And the Saints will have the football back. Though certainly not the way that they were hoping that possession would end, failing to convert on 4th.
And now they've got to make sure that they keep their poise, they keep their confidence. Just because it didn't work once doesn't mean if they get that same situation later that they shouldn't go.
And he coughs up the football near his own goal line.
And a little bit of good fortune there. He wasn't able to get it back, but he did have a teammate on the spot able to retain possession for them.
So they almost turn it over there. Scary moment. 2nd down here. Breeze gives it up to Ingram. And he'll take this up to about the 7 or 8 yard line. 5 yards gets him back near the original line of scrimmage as they'll be left with a 3rd and long. The Panthers are going to take another timeout. So that means they're down to 1 remaining here as we head toward halftime. Now Spiller. And he will lose yardage here back to his own 6. And play is stopped here. Timeout. It's the defense calling the timeout here. So a defensive timeout, chance to regather, regroup, and get set as we resume action. He gets this one away, and boy, it's another boomer. Now it's Ginn. Whoosh. So we have reached halftime with the visiting Saints. And okay, so much for our halftime break. Apparently we're going to get right back to it. Both teams appear ready for the fight ahead, and we resume action here in quarter number 3. Fozzie Whitaker now on the return. And he'll make it across the 20 as his guys will set up shop at the 23-yard line. The Saints defense, we watch them get set to go. This will be their first crack here of the second half. We'll see what, if any, adjustments they made in the locker room.
And the bulk of adjustments usually come down to, guys, we did pretty well in the first half. Play with that intensity, with that focus, and we'll adjust anything else they throw at us in the second half.
Second drive here of the second half. And after the play on the ground, that brings up second down here.
First play of the drive, let's give credit all around. Excellent blocking, but the guy carrying the ball, he was the finisher. A really nice run.
Now Artis Payne. Oh, the spin. And now off to the races down the right side. Past the 20. Touchdown, Carolina. Cameron Artis Payne. 70 yards. And the Panthers have taken the lead. They blitzed defensively there, but he was able to slip through that first layer, and then he was gone.
I think won the leverage game, didn't they?
Yes.
Right? They saw the blitz coming. They got to him a little bit, but they leveraged it perfectly and found not just a crease, a gigantic hole. And off he goes, and he's still going all the way to the end zone.
Ganulet now following the touchdown here to kick it away. That's fielded in the end zone. And no run back here. This will be a touchback, and it comes out to the 25-yard line. Now we take a glance at the offense as they work their way back out for their first possession of the second half. They trail offense, first time to touch the ball in quarter 3, and we'll see what they can do.
And I can't wait to see what they have planned, because some teams script to start a half. Other teams just go, okay, these are the sequence of plays we want to run. These things worked well for us. And sometimes they throw in that big chunk play right away.
Shocker.
Try and get after them early and try and create a big play to give themselves some momentum.
See what they have up their sleeve. 2 yards on the pickup there. It'll be 2nd and 8.
Tough day, tough sledding right there, and it's been that way the entire game. Not a whole lot of room to ramble for him.
Yeah, you're right. It's been that way all afternoon. Didn't get a whole lot better there. Ingram again. And they'll get it up just short of the 45 at the 44. 17 yards on the pickup there. The drive will continue. It's a first down.
Sometimes it's hard to believe, but there are times this game is about patience, isn't it? Has had the game he expected, but that run there, that may get him going.
I was just going to say, maybe that gives him a little juice, because you're right, he struggled, especially in that first half.
Yeah, and I know the great ones always think to themselves, just hang in there. I'm just one big carry away from busting this open. That's a good start for him.
See if they stay on the ground for second down.
That's a good play by the guys on the defensive side of the ball. Held him to a gain of 2. And that changes the playbook a little bit now for the guy calling plays. 2nd and 8. Now he's got to probably think about going to the air instead of maybe staying with the ground game.
Only 3 yards on the catch. It's 3rd down.
Good throw, good catch, but I really like the route. The drag and being able to run away from defenders. Hard to stick with them for that long.
Yeah, better against man than zone, or?
Better against man, because now you're running away from someone and you're not running into a defensive player in another zone. And the Panthers